DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Have you looked at the line for the Big 12 title game, PK?
I have not.
Want to take a shot at it?
Oh, no, I have. Okay, in full disclosure, I had it about 9, and then I saw it was like 13 and 14.
It's 13.5 right now. I would have guessed 10.
So I
figured it'd be double digits.
I went 9. Yeah, I mean, that's a heavy favorite. It's probably, I haven't looked at the title game lines beyond that, but it's probably the biggest favorite.
Georgia 2.5 over Alabama. Ohio State 5.5 over Indiana. Virginia by 3 over Duke.
Yeah.
So for the 4 power leagues,
that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
That's healthy.
They're an overwhelming underdog.
That they are. James Madison by 22.5 over Troy. There's the only other.
Is that
double digit?
Is Kenny's brother's coaching there?
Kenny's brother.
Uh-huh.
Kenny J?
No.
Barbecue? Oh,
no,
I didn't know
no.
you're making a joke.
Kenny Chesney? Bob Chesney? Is
that the coach?
Isn't he there?
I do not know that.
Yeah, he's there.
Okay.
And he could potentially be, in fact, he is a candidate at Penn State. And when I said earlier, well, clearly they haven't announced it when everyone else has announced it, and they've had the outside of firing Deshaun Foster at UCLA, they've had the longest. And it's clear to me that Penn State's next coach is still coaching. And Chesney is still coaching. And he's not related to Kenny. But I would claim it.
Penn State is getting roasted for taking so long while all these other schools, because allegedly they started, we can start the search early, but now all the people who started the search late have their guy, and you still don't have a guy. So
yeah, but I mean,
it's a bad look. As long as you get the right guy, though, it doesn't matter.
Who's your guy? This guy, that guy? I mean, nobody knows. Nobody knows who's going to be good, who isn't going to be good. You look. I'm to the point where I look at the situation rather than the individual.
And even that doesn't tell you.
It doesn't,
because the situation's changing so fast.
Whoever replaces Ryan Day is probably going to be pretty good.
Yeah, it is. But we didn't know Kurt Signetti was going to do this.
No.
Yeah.
Absolute home run.
DJ PK, and we're joined now by Shehan Jeyarajah, CBS Sports National College Football writer. Shehan, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
There's some big games coming up, but do you have any time to write about big games, or is it just all coaching carousel, coaching carousel, coaching carousel?
It's a lot of coaching carousel. I'm excited to not think about the words Lane Kiffin for at least a couple of days. Hopefully that'll happen sometime this offseason. But I'm really lucky, too. We've got a great team over at CBS Sports, and a lot of them are much more involved in the transaction and agent world than I am. So I like to just kind of hang around and say, hey, guys, you guys should check out this Bear Bachmeier kid.
Yeah, really, because we've had some outstanding play, and the Bachmeier story is really good. He was sensational on Saturday, but it does seem like at a time when the sport should be at a fever pitch, we're being overtaken by coaching changes and coaching rumors, and we've got one in Provo with the potential of Penn State luring Kalani Sitake away, and it kind of stinks from the attention that should be focused on the games.
Yeah, no, it really is unfortunate. And I mean, we hear all this stuff about the calendar and all these structural things that should be changed. But the reality is that, I think that so many of the biggest issues facing the carousel of aging coaches right now are things that were frankly self-inflicted. I mean, we didn't have an early signing period until coaches advocated for it. We didn't have a fall and winter transfer window until coaches advocated for it. Like, all these things are things that were demanded in the past, and now they're coming back around. So, I think the thing that's most disappointing, specifically, let's say about the Lane Kiffin thing, is this is one of the first times that we've ever had a coach who's actually competing for a national championship just drop out and just leave. Like, I think that we've reached a certain point where it's like we are so obsessed with the idea of resource and opportunity and contracts and all this sort of stuff that it's actually taking precedence for actual coaches on the field over their actual team.
Well, that's awesome. What a great turn of events. Now, they could get rid of the early signing date and go back to February, but there's still the transfer portal, which there is still a loose connection with academics out there somewhere. And so I guess the transfer portal set up in early January so kids can move and be eligible for spring ball. And I don't know that they can move the thing to late spring, kind of the way basketball works. That seems to be what would be best for protecting the product in November and December, but I just don't see that getting done. So this is just going to keep happening, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, you mentioned it, like what they could do is they could move player acquisition to after the school year. But it's very much that these coaches want to get kids on campus earlier and earlier. You think back, I mean, gosh, I haven't been covering college football that long, but it's been, when I was coming up, like 7 or 8 years ago when I was first in the industry, like kids didn't really enroll, even as high school recruits, over the, in the winter. Maybe you had a few, maybe your quarterback came in a little early, but like it wasn't really a priority to get your second recruit at linebacker on campus in December. Well, now there's such a rush to get kids on campus. There's such a rush to get them on the field. There's such a rush to give them opportunities. There's such a rush to get rid of some guys and bring in new players through the transfer portal and make sure that they get a chance to go through spring ball. Like, again, it's kind of this constant chase of trying to, flip things immediately. And I think that there's such an obsession with that right now that, like you said, I mean, it's really something that I don't know that we can truly come back from, because I don't think that any side involved is particularly interested in getting rid of the spoils at this moment.
We do have games, thankfully, and the Cougars are one of those games that we have here. And the big talk is what they need to do as far as make the playoffs. That's the ultimate goal. And does it boil down to they absolutely need to win that game? If they have a close game and lose, they're out?
Yeah, I think that to feel confident, they have to win the game. Like, I mean, you look right now, obviously we're going to get a new set of rankings on Tuesday, but the reality of the situation is this. If the season ended today, they would not be in the college football playoff despite being an 11-1 team. And I think that puts them in such a weird position. I mean, I think that how many teams over the past couple of years have finished 11-1 in a power conference and not been ranked in the top 10? It's a very short list. And so, I mean, it's obviously an unfortunate position to be in, but they have to go into this game. And we've heard as well, the committee has cited over and over again, the reason that they don't value BYU is that they feel like they were outclassed by Texas Tech in their first game. So they have to kind of stem that tide and give themselves an opportunity to win it, because I just don't think that, even playing well would be enough.
Do you think we need to get rid of the selection committee and go to multiple automatic bids per conference? Because either no one trusts the selection committee's competence or they don't trust its integrity. And who you're talking to, that probably goes back and forth. Maybe some people don't trust either one. But Sarkisian's been pushing really hard. And, you lost at Florida narrative. He's like, yeah, well, Notre Dame played for the national title and they lost to Northern Illinois at home. So what? And his point about the non-conference game and playing Ohio State, I thought that carries some weight too. Would it just be better if conferences got teams in and it's like the NFL where there's no committee and you just, wherever you rank in your conference, there you go?
So I just don't think that that's realistic for a couple of reasons. I mean, one, we talk about sort of devaluing regular season conference games, and I understand, some of that falls on deaf ears, but if the team that finishes fourth place in the SEC just goes just because, that's silly to me. Actually, let's even talk about this year in particular. If the Big Ten had 4 auto bids to the college football playoff, that means that we're having a conversation about a mediocre USC team or Iowa or somebody like that. There weren't 4 good teams in the entire Big Ten this year. And so if you create a situation where we're guaranteeing spots that you just get a chance to be a part of because you are part of a particular conference, I just think that ends up being silly. You mentioned, of course, the idea of the NFL playoffs where obviously if you win your division, then you're in. Well, like, again, we don't really have – the only comparison that you can really make to having multiple teams getting a spot because they finished third or fourth place in their conference is like making the Champions League in soccer, which, again, you don't actually, like – it's not the same thing as a postseason either. You get a chance to play in a different league. So I just don't think that that's really a tenable situation. I think that certainly when you look in the case of the Big 12 and ACC, like that would be enumerating, for example, the idea that they are a lesser conference than the SEC and the Big 10. And there's de facto reasons, but it's a different thing for it to be enumerated. And so ultimately, I just don't think that's something that makes sense. I understand that the committee, there's always going to be frustrations, there's always going to be complaints, but like, I think that ultimately, like, this is still most likely a better situation than some of the alternatives.
Reminds me of a presidential election. Which person do I hate least or less? And you got this. Is it the committee system? Is it the, like an NFL system? I just don't know that we can do the NFL system as currently constituted, so we're going to have to live with it. But how about expansion of the number of teams? Is that a better solution, or what we'd like to talk about, if you want to eliminate the close plays at first base, you just move the bag back a foot, which obviously is a joke because then you just create a whole new bunch of close plays.
Yeah, I mean, and let's be clear, any solution is going to come with new complications. We just talked about all this stuff, all the problems that coaches were trying to solve with some of these calendar stuff that ended up creating much bigger situations than existed before. But I think that, when you talk about it, I think that ultimately we are going to end up at 16. I do think we're going to end up with the 5+11 model with 5 auto bids and 11 at-larges. I think for two reasons, right? One is, I mean, when you look at this, I think that buys have been kind of one of those things that maybe have become less valued than we expected for a couple of reasons, right? One, obviously we get rid of the idea of conference champions having buys, so kind of having that unbalanced 4 buys doesn't make as much sense. The other thing, too, is that I think that everybody's looking around and saying, whoa, it would be really cool to have a home playoff game. And, obviously I think that if you're Georgia or if you're, Ohio State, like you're not going to get one this year because you're too good. And I think that that's something that probably will change. I think we'll probably move to a 16-team playoff. I think that we'll probably move to all 8 of the top 8 seeds hosting first-round games. So I do think we are going to be heading in that direction. Now, again, like there are people, especially in the Big Ten, who are like, we need 24 or 28 or 30. Like, obviously we don't need that, right? Obviously we don't need that. But I do think that 16 probably would be a number that would make some sense for some of the specific reasons that I, laid out. But at the same time, I mean, we just don't want to be caught in this endless loop of constantly adding and adding and adding. I mean, college basketball is finding itself in that mode right now, and it's a different sport. But like, again, you have to put a line in the sand at some point and say, this is how much we feel like it's worth it.
If the playoffs expand and they need more dates, how vulnerable do you think the conference title games are? They're pretty wild now. I mean, there's 4 SEC teams. It's 7-1, so they got a tiebreaker. 2 are in, 2 are out, which reminds us of the Big 12 last year. The American Conference has got 3 teams tied for second at 6-2. There's 5 teams tied for second at 6-2 in the ACC. I mean, these things are a gigantic mess. The tiebreakers are really an argument for not having more of these automatic bids, because I don't know how you'd break some ridiculous tie for 4th in one of these leagues anyway. Do you think the conference title games are going to be in jeopardy? Because outside of Indiana, Ohio State, I can argue there's a reason that every single one of them is flawed.
Yeah, I mean, well, I would argue Tech BYU is a very legit title game too. But I think that when we move to this kind of expanded system, I mean, this was one of the things that I liked about the sort of system that we had last year, where the 4 top conference champions got buys, because it really was something significant to play for. And I think that I mean, look, there's so many programs. Texas Tech hasn't won an outright conference championship since 1955. That's a big deal. That is really cool that they're going to get an opportunity to do that. I do want that to be valued to a certain extent, right? So, and I mean, I think the other piece of it as well is sort of the television product of it all. And so, I mean, you ask, like, are we going to be in a position where these things get kind of go away? Well, that's, I think, one of the big complications. That I think that television really likes them. And I think that they really like being able to broadcast them. And they like that on a Saturday, the best of every conference is kind of coming to the forefront. I think the biggest thing that needs to change, and the ACC is kind of the poster child of this right now, is the way that we determine who's playing in those games right now is ridiculous. I mean, we have 16 to 18 team conferences where, like you said, through tiebreakers, we're essentially deciding who ends up where. I mean, actually, one that I give a lot of credit to is actually the American Conference, who straight up says our tiebreaker for picking teams making our conference title game, the first tiebreaker is just the college football playoff rankings, because what we care about is making sure that the best teams in the eyes of the college football playoff committee have a chance to play in these games to give ourselves the best chance of making it to the playoffs. So, I mean, I think that that's a big issue, the fact that, you have a 10-2 Miami team whose 2 losses came in conference versus a 5-loss Duke team who obviously is a low-quality team, but their losses kind of came in an order that was preferable. Like, I think that that's kind of the bigger thing right now is we need a better way to try to figure out who exactly should be playing in these games in the first place.
I assume since you reside in the area, you'll be at the Big 12 title game?
Of course.
Then my question is, have you picked out which coat you're going to wear?
I've got a couple options on the table. The nice thing about the game being local for me is that I have my entire wardrobe.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. You don't have to pack.
I get to pick what I want. I do have one in mind. I debuted actually a coat at my friend's wedding last week, and I haven't worn it out to a game yet, so that might be the move.
You debuted a coat. Pretty sure I've never heard those words in those order ever in my life.
The man in his coat, man. I look forward to
it.
Purple, yellow, green. Give us an idea.
Yes.
Oh, it's kind of hard to describe because so it's actually I got it from India actually, which is part of why I saved it for my friend's wedding. It's a dark color, but like lots of patterns on it. Let's put it like that.
Okay.
I'll be there, but I'll be the guy dressed in something that you would never look twice at.
Listen. As long as this whole thing started for me with back when I was a student reporter. I didn't want to be treated like a student reporter, and I'd show up to these press conferences, and the people over there in like cargo shorts and stuff, and I'm like, we're at work, guys. You understand that, right? So I always took it a little bit of a step up, and now I'm a national guy, so I feel like I have to keep up the image, right?
Oh yeah, I think it's awesome, man. You're. There's more than one reason why you stand out in a crowd. I'll leave it at that.
Especially at a BYU game, I'm sure.
Amen.
Sean, we appreciate it as always. Thanks for coming on and talking college football carousel with us, the coaching carousel and the title games. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
DJ and PK, our Big 12 championship game coverage is brought to you by JCW's The Burger Boys. Quality and a lot of it. I understand we're going to be at JCW's in American Fork tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, DJ and PK will be there from 3 to 4. DJ will get there around 2 if you want your picture taken and some autographs. They'll take care of that for you. Make a nice stocking stuffer for Christmas for people who love him, and there's many, many thousands beyond that we even thought of, man. Since you've changed jobs here, I've had a bunch of people come after me on that one, too. And I've had to offer up a bunch of explanations. I said, follow the money, man. That's all I know.
DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Slacker Radio Headlines brought to you by Trajan Wealth. Call Trajan Wealth today, your local trusted financial fiduciary. Call them at 801-210-6800 or visit their website at TrajanWealth.com. The Big 12 title game berth has been secured. PK, how could anything be bigger than that?
Well, the coaching situations are big. I mean, that's just they'll overshadow it until the positions are full. I mean, like for Ole Miss and LSU, now it's on to the game for obviously for Ole Miss, and for LSU, they're going to have a hoe down.
What was that laugh? Yeah.
Well, he wasn't. I don't think. No, does he know what we're talking about here?
You know what we're talking about?
There was a video of Lane Kiffin confronting a reporter.
Yeah.
A reporter took some lyrics and used them to reference Lane Kiffin's career path.
Yeah, so I think they're going to have
How
a
was that?
hoe down in LSU, in Baton Rouge. I've been to Baton Rouge. I know they have hoedowns in Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
I've been to Baton Rouge.
Apparently, Lane Kiffin has now gotten together with a reporter, and they've talked it all out.
Oh, like the Boylan-Gordon thing?
Smoothed it over.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Lane's off to LSU.
If only I would have smoothed it over with Majerus.
If only. Would have taken half the fun out of it. Neither one of you would have enjoyed it as much.
That was a decade of my life. That was a long decade. But it was also a fun decade.
See? I bet he'd describe it the same way.
Oh, yeah. There were great times galore.
You made lots of people uncomfortable at both your places of employment. But secretly, you two are like, "Whoa, this is great."
10 years toe-to-toe with him, man.
Yeah.
He helped make me who I am.
I wonder if he looked at the beat writers when he was in St. Louis and thought, child's play.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Have to ask Alex if there were any comments about that. He was there as an assistant. He might know. Wasn't there the whole time, but he was there some of the time.
The funny thing is that the players would tell me how he would talk about me.
You get the backdoor quote.
Yes. And there was a guy at the LA Times who was in Vegas. You know, they have the summer stuff. And Majerus goes up to him, and Majerus had told him a ton of stuff, and then he would call and tell me, right? And he pulled a, what was it? Was it Judas? He pulled, or who denied? Was it Peter? Who denied Jesus? Because
Peter 3 times before the cock crowed.
Majerus goes up to the guy.
You told PK.
Do you know?
Do you know PK?
Yeah.
No. Classic.
And it got to the point that he not only did he know me, that after I moved up here, when I would go down sometimes, I'd stay at his house. And then when he got the SC job, when Jerry's got the SC job, it was in December, and he resigned on my birthday. And nobody had cell phones then, at least I didn't. And so my buddy calls me, and because my wife and I went out to dinner. We come back, it's like 8, 9 o'clock. There's a message from him, and he says, "You're not going to believe this. You got to call me back." And I knew what he was talking about. I just said, "You're not going to believe this. Call me back."
Not only do I believe you, but I tried to tell you.
So
we talked about Kalani this morning. We had to wrap this all up for people in a 60-second bundle. Penn State's coming. They've been through several candidates who've gotten extensions. They wanted Signetti. They wanted Rule. And they're staying at Indiana and Nebraska. Got a long list of people. And now Kalani. But he's not the only coach out there being mentioned. I mean, it seems like a wide net. But it seems like everybody believes he's somewhere between candidate 3 and 1.
what I'd heard last week, and Yak and I talked about it yesterday, was that he could have it if he wanted it.
So does he want it?
Well,
There's the question.
He has not made the move yet.
You know, I'm not willing to say that. I'm not going to pretend that I know, so people will think, oh, PK's on the inside. I'll tell you what I know, and I'm hesitant to tell you beyond what I hear, unless what I hear is solid enough. So it could happen, yes. And I think that if it happens for BYU, it's a blow. But, I mean, I think Jay Hill is an excellent football coach, and unless he goes with him, Jay Hill would be the overwhelming obvious candidate. Everybody knows that. That's not breaking news. And then the program goes on, man. And we'll see. I'm probably like the fans thinking, gosh, he's got so much here. We talked about his dad. Tom was on the sidelines and all. When he was at Utah, Tom used to have it was like a station wagon, and the car was decorated in paraphernalia. You couldn't miss it, and it'd be in a parking lot there at practice. So that would change. I mean, that's way on the other side of the country.
It's a different deal,
Yeah.
and lots of people, I've read what Penn State people are writing about this, and, the question, well, he hasn't lived in this part of the country, hasn't recruited this part of the country, and then they basically do what I do during the show, and they argue with themselves. And they're like, but in the era of the transfer portal, does it matter? Players are coming from all over the country.
Well, Mark
They're only
Pope
coming
gets
for 1
the
or 2
kid
years.
from Farmington, Chandler, who was on a mission and committed, and then he goes with him.
Yeah.
Devin
kids could go with
Dampier,
him.
I'm sure he didn't grow up in the Phoenix area. Gosh, I hope one day I'm the quarterback at Utah.
And James Franklin was recruiting nationally at Penn State. He brought guys from all over.
I don't think you can be a national contender without recruiting national anymore. The days of
There's probably
being
something to be said
regional,
for that. Yeah.
Why
Why would you limit yourself?
Alabama's gone to Hawaii to get a quarterback. So they've gone to California too. So why not?
They've gone to California with an aching in their heart.
There it is. Sing it. Sing it.
So you do need to recruit. And I think so many players I see, like BYU, Utah gets Cole Bishop out of Georgia. Mm-hmm. Isn't that where Alexander Yak, is he from Georgia? Their cornerback at BYU?
But can you build a whole program doing that?
Well, I mean, you have to build a program on getting the best players you can get. And in the world of where it is now, that's yes and yes. The world is the entire country is your recruiting base, particularly with transfers when you have guys get older and things that they possibly couldn't have considered. Now, all of a sudden, they are considering.
2 or 3 years later, they look at things different.
Yeah.
We keep talking about how much guys mature in their late teens and early 20s.
Right.
So a 20 or 21-year-old might look at Penn State differently.
Oh, yeah.
Not so far away.
Utah had that linebacker, Diamante, Mo, I think they called him. And so we're down there in the parking lot of Rose Bowl, and they have these breakout interviews. And so I get an opportunity to talk to him one-on-one. And he was a Penn State guy, wasn't he? Yeah. And so now he's a senior. This is it. And I said, when you were growing up, and I forget where he's growing up, I said, did you ever imagine yourself playing football for the University of Utah? And he just busted up. It's like, no, I didn't consider it even remotely. Well, then he goes through what he goes through, and then he realizes, hey, man, if you do really well at the U of U, you got a shot to play in the NFL. And they had a spot for me, and I went there. And so, yeah, they needed me, I needed them. So I don't really care that Kalani doesn't have big ties to the Northeast. It doesn't matter. Can you get the guys? Are you personable? Is the money there? That's the big thing. What is available financially for BYU? What is available financially for Penn State? BYU's going to they've done well upping it. Paying the coordinators are 7 figures, but do they go more? Do you go 8 figures on the head coach? Do you have this? The coaches that were with Bronco that went to Virginia, I knew several of them, and they told me, wow, man, what we had at BYU is peanuts compared to what we have at Virginia. And Virginia ain't no national power. And BYU has stepped it up. Well, now they're going to have to step it up more. They got no problem stepping it up in basketball.
No,
now
they're
it's
going after
smaller, a number of
They're
people.
going after the number one pick in the country. Yeah, big money.
And that's what they're going to have to do for football. And football costs more. But I think that the U of U in 2024, I was just reading this out of Desert News yesterday because I was looking up Kyle's contract. The program made $90 million. It spent $50 million, but they made a $40 million profit at the U of U.
All right.
That is major money.
Yes. So why jeopardize it when you got it going? And they got it going
Kyle,
right now.
Yeah. What you look at his contract. He gets 2 cars. He gets free insurance. He gets free gas. What the crap?
You left out the country clubs.
Well, yeah, I know, but that's a given. Everybody gets that. You get free gas. Free gas.
Cool.
He can't afford to pay.
He could.
But, I mean, they just on and on and on.
Yeah. But so much rides on that one person, that higher.
Yak, you
They
asked
sit
about
astride.
the Eagles going down there? Because that apparently got on tape. He's driving.
Oh, he's not going to drive, PK.
Okay, then he's chartering.
Now you're talking.
I'm just saying.
Well, I thought we stop in St. George and play golf.
Well, he is
Charter to St. George, play golf, and then drive the rest of the way.
St. George.
Kyle has chartered to St. George.
Well, yes, he has. Yeah.
So this is not out of the realm of possibility.
But he had reasons. But yeah. Oh, yeah. I better not. I don't want to tell too many stories here. But yeah. But that's what BYU needs to do. And although at some point you got to say, like they did with Marion, dude, we've given you the money, and your family's telling you, go get more, go get more. We're done. If you want to go, go. And sure, that was a blow that he left. Oh, all they did was go 11-1. So how big of a blow was it?
Worked out fine. Worked out fine.
Was he going to?
He wasn't a difference in the one either. That was
Right.
those issues were at the line of scrimmage.
Right.
Yeah.
So they can only go if they say, "Hey, we've given you everything that we want to give you in order for you to be successful." And if that's the case, and he says, "Okay, I'm out of here," what are you going to do?
Could this work out great for BYU and then it forces them to give him resources he wasn't getting?
That's
the
what I want.
resources that make the difference
Yeah.
between 11-1 and dare to dream big, PK.
It's hard to make the difference between 11-1
And 15-0.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
I mean,
15-0.
11-1.
is awesome. I know.
And then you factor in on the heels of 10-2.
No wonder Penn State's calling.
Duh.
That was the first thing I thought, and I saw some initial. Really, I'm like, 22-3. I mean, wouldn't be doing your job if you didn't call it 22-3. If you're the Penn State AD, you got to at least make
would
the call.
Urban go 22-2?
Urban was 22-2.
The difference that everybody knew Urban was
A short timer from the second of the press conference.
Right.
The questions as soon as it opened up.
right.
Multiple questions. I wasn't even there. I was listening on the radio. Other people were there covering it. And like literally everybody was there was asking, how long are you here?
Yeah.
In 40 different ways.
Now the Big 12 is having a conference call. Is it Zoom today at 11:30 between Joey McGuire and Kalani, and he's got to be asked about it. Pardon?
Yormark's supposed to be on it too.
Your mark? Yeah. And so he's got to be asked about it. He just simply has to be. And he will be. And
then we'll have a topic
awaiting
for
his
tomorrow.
response.
Right. And JJ and Alex will have a topic for this afternoon.
Well, it's at 11:30, so everybody will have it. Unless you specifically, because of your animosity towards the besties, you did not include them.
No, Yak just said later in the day.
I said 11:30.
I thought you just said 2 o'clock, Yak.
No,
No,
I just
he
said 11:30. I just
said
said it.
Yormark's going to be on the press conference too.
I just
the
said
press conference 2. Yes, okay.
But I had previously said
Yes.
11th. I named a literal time.
I know,
you
but
jerk.
that's why I was confused. I didn't know. I was like, East Coast, are we on BYU TV time? I didn't
11:30.
know.
I know. I speak in the time. My time zone is always where my feet are.
Well, that's not true.
Well,
You played
I
around the
mean,
time
I'm
zone before.
dreaming of going to Hawaii today, but that's not
And it
going to
was a
happen.
half hour off, and I was thoroughly confused.
11:30. He's going to be asked about it, and what is going to be his response? And his response is going to be, if you don't have access to listen to it, you can, you'll hear,
It'll be
you'll
everywhere
read the
immediately.
tweets and
Yeah.
blah blah blah. Like I'm going to go, hey, bro, you leaving or what? That's going to be my question.
It is not going to be your question. All right, DJ and PK, your feedback next. Stay with us. DJ and PK, it's time for your feedback. What do you have to say about today's show? Odds makers listing Kalani third for the Penn State job at 15% behind Lincoln Riley and Brian Dable. Other sites have him as the lead contender. Would he take it if offered? Larry, hopefully they hire Stinkin' Riley.
Lincoln Riley?
Yep. And we got other people. Why would anybody want Lincoln Riley? Because of what he did at Oklahoma, not because of what he did at USC.
Yeah, and he argued just that he took over for Stoops and the program was rolling. And then after a while, it flushes out and you become the face of the program, not your predecessor.
Yep.
Although SC takes a big hit, though. What are they?
9-3.
Yeah. It's not dog meat here.
It's not what SC wants or expects.
It's still not dog meat.
It is not.
I know dog meat.
They're a little removed from their last conference title, and they're not happy about it.
You, sir, are dog meat.
Dave, he has said repeatedly he wants to be the Polynesian Lavelle Edwards. I think Kalani plays a long game and stays right where he's at. He's got a good thing going, and is likely set for life already.
But you don't know the particulars. You're just looking at it from the sky. And I get that. You would think that's, if you're just looking at it from a distance, that's what you would think.
Brooks, he's not going anywhere. He has a perfect situation at BYU. If he went anywhere else, they wouldn't have the patience that BYU has had or will have with him.
Okay, well, how do you know he thinks he needs patience? You can argue. I always thought that if Steve Cleveland and Dave Rose had coached in the Pac-10 the way they could recruit, they would have knocked it out of the park. Being around those two guys and what they were able to do to build a trash program and how much the restrictions that aren't there now at BYU.
Were there then.
Yeah. And Kalani, he's a charmer. I told the two ADs when Mark Pope was hired at his press conference, I literally told them, why do I feel like I need to have my hand on my wallet when I talk to Mark Pope? Kalani is authentic that way. I don't feel I need to have my hand
on your wallet.
Yeah. And Pope, he worked the system, and good for him. And I wish him nothing but the best at Kentucky. But how real was it? How genuine was it? But, I mean, he has to do that. I don't criticize him. It sounds like a criticism. I get it. But that's what the job requires. You have to schmooze. But Kalani has been schmoozing his whole life because it just comes so natural. It's not even schmoozing to him. It's just his personality.
All true.
And so why wouldn't he think if I went to school XYZ that I couldn't recruit the crap out of that place?
There's almost no chance he would. I mean, why wouldn't he think that?
Right.
I mean, you're not a good recruiter if you think, well, I'm pretty good if I stay here. You think you're a good recruiter because you think you're a good recruiter.
Early on, and I can tell you this because I talked to him about it, he used to bristle at the thought, well, man, you can get the Polynesians. No. Do not pigeonhole me as the Polynesian recruiter. No, because I want to get, if there's white kids, if there's black kids, if there's whatever kids, I want to be able to get them if they want to come to my place. And he resisted that label, and rightly so.
Don't put a limit on somebody.
Right.
Don't put a limit.
I mean, the influx of Polynesians has changed the game, but you need everybody.
We got to take a break, and when we come back, Jake and Ben are taking over. Stay with us right here on The Zone.